Hi, I'm Paul Clements, and I'm here with Jeff Spoelstra, the Director of the Office for Sustainability at Western Michigan University.
Hi, Paul.
Jeff, so what are the things that OFS does to promote sustainability?
Our Office for Sustainability is a whole bunch of things, mostly on campus here at the university, mostly with students and for students. We're a unique operation. We're funded primarily by students themselves. They pay into a sustainability fee, and we are one of a few entities that turn that into student programming, projects, initiatives. Some examples are we run an open bicycle shop, so we have student mechanics that help other students learn to repair their bikes. And all of this is typically geared ultimately towards carbon neutrality and goals Western has for fighting climate change and reducing our carbon footprint. So if students are fixing bikes, they're choosing alternative transportation, fossil fuel-free transportation. We make compost out of food waste, partly to help Western, test out composting possibilities, again, to reduce our waste stream and ultimately to sort of fight climate change, if you will. We grow food as well and donate that to the what's called the Invisible Needs Project here on campus that helps out students in need with food and other resources. So part of that is driven by our students really wanted to kind of give back to students as we really explore sort of equity and inclusion issues and the sort of overlaps with sustainability and environment. We started donating food to the Invisible Needs. And then also, that's a good example of projects, programs, but there are things we do as well, like track data. So Western Michigan University does a lot of different things across facilities, research, teaching, community programming. We try to keep track of everything, and every couple of years we report out publicly on what Western's up to. We'll track greenhouse gases. We've done that about 4 times in the last 10 years, always with students working on a project or a thesis or a classroom exercise. And then that all kind of rolls in together with Western's overall sustainability picture. But again, always the theme is student energy, student initiative. We listen to what the student body is talking about. And frankly, nowadays, it's a lot of climate change action that they're interested in, and also the intersections of environmental justice and sustainability work, not only sort of locally, but kind of across the globe.
So is there like one activity of the office that you personally just really enjoyed, that you enjoyed like being involved with?
Oh, that's a good question. I personally like the networking that we tend to do here and the collaborations that we have. So a good collaboration, real solid collaboration actually, especially the last few years, is with Western's Climate Change Working Group, a group of faculty and to some degree staff and administrators who are really educating and working towards research in the climate change front. Our office helps to contribute. We're part of the working group and part of the community outreach efforts there. So I enjoy that part of it, where I'm connecting students with experts on campus and then also with community members. And when it rolls together, it's a really nice collaboration. So I appreciate that. And then I also like, I've been here long enough to see students who gain experience at Western in their field of study or on their research projects. They may work with us on this team. They may have a grant through our organization. And then they go out in the real world, and then they start to work on making change in their new jobs or their new careers. And some of them stay local. I've seen them working in green building locally. A local brewery sustainability comes to mind, packaging, sustainability elements of packaging, all from graduates of Western who've stayed in the community. And that to me is really exciting too. It makes me sort of connect with teaching and mentoring here.
I know the feeling.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So separate from your position here as director, just personally, like what is the most important environmental issue we face today from your point of view?
Wow. I've said it a few times here. To me, climate change in general is probably the most urgent issue that comes to my mind. I think overlooked is sort of biodiversity issues. So we are really in the midst of a biodiversity crisis, and many of the things that tie climate change and biodiversity together kind of come from other problems we have with inequity, with overuse of natural habitat or development. We're sort of running out of natural spaces, and we're sort of farming all across the globe, and these things all kind of roll together for me. So higher ed's the right place to be, to sort of have those debates and have those discussions, hard discussions, right, about governance and about real research and about human behavior and about the way we organize ourselves. I think those are all great fodder for discussion on any of these issues here.
And I know you work here at Western, but you also, here you are in the city of Kalamazoo. Is there like an issue that you think the people of Kalamazoo, the citizens of this city and this county, need to be paying more attention to?
That's a good question too. Is there an issue of the day? I think people should think long term about the urban environment and density and walkability, local jobs. I feel a little bit like this all makes me lean towards getting into politics or elected office someday, right? Because ultimately, if you don't have meaningful work, if you don't have transportation to have a job that pays a living wage, then you have limited opportunity to care about contaminated sediment in the river, or this big thing, climate change, that I feel powerless to really do anything about. To me, the economy part of sort of the three-legged stool, the triple bottom line people talk about, it's very clear, and to me how much emphasis we need there. And secondly, I think people need to think hard about individual action, which is often what people have focused on in the past. I will change my light bulbs and change my car to an electric vehicle. I think people need to move past that quickly and get to collective action. So get involved in an organization you admire. If it's around an issue, great. If it's around a movement, great. If it's around local government, great. I'm seeing now, we're in these weird times of COVID. Many government functions are now online through Zoom, and I feel like people are actually showing up to meetings and subcommittees and really their voices have a chance to be heard, and I think that's really valuable because we're going to shape our urban environment and our suburban areas and our rural areas, and it's all kind of open to change, and it's all impacted by these issues of climate change, biodiversity, and whatnot.
Well, Jeff, I think you're one of our real sustainability heroes here in Kalamazoo, so thanks very much for sharing your thoughts.
My pleasure, Paul. Thanks.